Robinhood stock is going to crash. I think this is one of the most obvious trades that I have seen in a very long time. So I do want to go over this with you guys. If this is something you are interested in, make sure you come to your own conclusions. Don't just take my word, because anything can happen in the stock market. Robinhood could rally off of this for whatever reason, but I think it is very highly unlikely. So let's talk about the two catalysts that are going to drag Robinhood stock down, as well as if you guys are subscribed to this channel, you know that about 2 weeks ago, I put out 2 separate videos about how I am shorting Robinhood. So I want to go over my trades, how much we did profit. So let's not waste any time. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is The Creative Investor, or Tyler, whatever you guys want to call me. But if you came here and clicked on this video to make a lot of money, to grow your net worth as fast as possible with AMC or any other stock or trade, you came to the right place. Consider subscribing to the channel. Everybody hit that like button on the video. Let me know down below in the comment section, what do you guys think about all of this information? And with that, let's get straight into this video. So really, the two main catalysts that are going to send Robinhood stock down, in my opinion, quite substantially, is going to be the lockup period for the Robinhood shares. So back in January and February, when AMC and GameStop went through this massive rally, Robinhood had to raise a lot of capital, and one way they did this is by essentially issuing these shares with smaller lockup periods. So the main lockup period is going to be expiring on October 28th, or October 27th, excuse me. This is the 91st day after Robinhood's IPO. The unlocked portion of the conversion shares will be available for sale in the public market under Rule 144, and by no later than December 1st, 2021. And typically, the first day these shares are available to be sold into the open market is typically when this does happen. Now, if you guys are unaware of what this does to a stock when all of these shares are flooded into the open market, let me remind you of Lucid Motors. We've seen the major lockup period actually go into effect here on September 1st, and we've seen a drop of about 25% at about 9:30 when the stock did open for trading, down to $16.12 on some very high volume, because all of these shares were available to be traded and obviously sold into the open market for other people to buy. But even leading into this, from about August 25th to September 1st, when we did see this gap down, you've seen Lucid Motors trade down consecutively couple percentage points every single day. So it's not necessarily on the one day you will see a big move, but even up until that, you typically do see moves to the downside, just because investors are anticipating this is going to happen. But if there's one thing you can learn from this, is that you will typically come back to life very fast. Like in the case of Lucid Motors, you were only down for, about half the day, and then you did recover. I think we closed down about 10.87%, and then by about a month later, 2 weeks later, you were back up to these levels where we did see the share lockup period, or the share lockup date, that actually did happen. So this is going to be the main catalyst. This is really the reason why I am looking to trade Robinhood yet again. As well as that, Robinhood does have its earnings coming on October 26th. This is one day before the lockup period, and as we do know, Robinhood app downloads are down 78%, and active users are down about 50 to 60%, and they do get 80% of their revenue from payment for order flow. So when these active users are dropping, this is hurting the business a lot, and Robinhood is not a profitable business. They are losing a lot of money, as you guys can see. Back here, the second quarter of 2021, they made 11 cents per share. In Q3 of 2021, they're estimated to lose $1.18 per share. So mix these two catalysts and the timeline, right, with earnings being the 26th, these shares available to be sold into the open market the 27th, I think you're setting up for a big move to the downside. And Robinhood has stayed relatively unchanged for a long period of time. They have been trading sideways due to a lot of these shares being in limbo, basically being locked up and not being able to be traded. But we have seen the low at $33.25, and Robinhood, like I said, is not a big mover. So I do think you're due for a move to the downside. All of this really just is a clear trade in my personal opinion. So that is the logic behind this, as well as JP Morgan did give Robinhood a $35 price target, noting that a lot of the shares are to be unlocked in the coming months. This was put out in September, and they do note by December, you're going to see all of these shares be sold into the open market by December 1st. So they did give it a $35 price target. So definitely not a lot of great things going on for Robinhood at the current moment, considering even the thought of banning payment for order flow would crush Robinhood. So putting all of this together, there's not too much to be bullish about. It's a pretty clear trade. That's why I want to get into this sooner rather than later. And I'm going to show you guys after we get into the trade that I just put on, essentially how I am looking to trade this. Not exactly what I'm going to buy, but how I think about this and how I would trade this, how I'm going to trade this. Now, if you guys are in the buy and sell alerts, you'll be notified the exact trade and the exact time that I do put this trade on. But just to reflect back at the last trade that I did do, if you're an ape, if you're in AMC, if you're you know, a retail investor and you're mad at me about using Robinhood, it is what it is. I mean, this is a small percentage of my overall portfolio value, so just keep that in mind. But the first thing that I want to know, if you're trading options in Robinhood or any other option trade, you should never trade more than you would be willing to lose. Like when I go into a trade, I already assume that I'm going to lose at least 50%, if not all of my money. If you're trading thinking you're going to make money every time or that you can't lose this money, then you're trading for the wrong reasons, because most options expire worthless unless you do, you know, have experience like I do, or you're just good at, you know, getting in, getting out real quick. You're going to lose money some trades that you do. So if you're gambling too much money that you wouldn't sleep right, or it would totally mess up your portfolio allocation or values, it would hurt you financially, then you should not ever trade like that. But I did on October 11th, I did buy $140 put expiring October 15th for $56, and then one day later on October 12th, I did buy another one of the same contracts, $40 put expiring August 15th for $65. I did sell both of these out the next day later for $202 total, $101 per contract. So this was a gain of about 80%. Some of the guys in the buy and sell alerts, they did sell theirs out for over a 100% winning trade. So that by no means is shabby whatsoever. And if you could hit those kind of trades all the time, you would get insanely rich. It doesn't always happen like that, but I think this next time around is going to be even bigger. And exactly how I would trade this, if you are on Robinhood, it doesn't matter where you're on, but the concept does stay the same. Now, we do know earnings is on the 26th of October, and then the share lockup period is on the 27th. That is next week, Wednesday and Thursday. So essentially how I would personally trade this is I would probably go to the October 29th or the November 5th expiration date. You definitely don't want the November 22nd in my personal opinion, but these are pretty expensive. And you know, relatively speaking, I would want to get closer to the money if you're doing the October 29th, because coming on the share lockup period and earnings, if you don't see that big move to the downside and you're, let's say, at the $35 strike and Robinhood only drops to $38 or $37, you might make a little bit of money, but you're not going to make that much money. So if you did go with something like the $40 strike, or even the $39 strike looks very attractive for $200, that would mean your break even is about $37 per share. You could make a decent amount of money right there with the $39 or the $40 strike. But what I would probably want to do is go out to the November 5th expiration date. You're gonna pay a little bit more, but I think Robinhood could be at about $35 per share by this time around. And considering the lockup period and earnings are on the 26th and 27th, you're gonna get one extra week of time premium as well. So you're gonna see a big drop in my personal opinion, but the contracts, they will start to value, and this is very complicated. If you don't understand earnings, this is probably sounding like a foreign language to you, but if Robinhood went to $30 per share, you had a $35 contract, that contract would be worth $500. But if you have an extra week until expiration, the extrinsic value, which is the value that is not in the money, is going to be worth some value as well. Whereas if Robinhood fell to $30 by this what is this, October 29th expiration day, you had a $35 strike, it would only be worth $500. You wouldn't get that extra couple $100 of time premium built into that. So for the November 5th options expiration day, I would probably do a $37 strike for $168. That looks pretty attractive right here, because I think $35, even as low as $30 per share, very reasonable, and you will get that extra time premium. So this is a safer way of playing it. If Robinhood were to bounce, you have an extra week of premium, so you wouldn't lose as much money as well. So that is the overall concept. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, as well as if you guys do want to get notified when I do make this trade on Robinhood or any other stock, definitely check that out with the buy and sell alerts. And by no means am I telling you guys to do this, just providing my due diligence, as the hedge funds institutions do amongst other hedge funds at round table dinners and so on and so forth. So that is all for this video. Like I said, if you guys want to be notified in real time when this trade is bought or sold in any other stock, whether it's a long-term investment, stock options, and or crypto, day trade, swing trade, or long-term investment, the link to do that is in the description of this video for the buy and sell alerts. Free stock with Public and Webull also in the description of this video. So that is all. I will see you guys in the next video.